All right, we're into game 5 of week 2 of the GameStar uh, summer qualifiers for the HGC here in ANZ, and this is going to be a really good one. It is Nomia versus the Rejects plus Hacky, and is going to be on the Infernal Shrines. A rather popular map, and it is always interesting to see what happens in the draft and also in game. Um, whether or not we see a Kerrigan is usually a rather interesting thing to look at, and I'm just very interested to see where this ends up going. So Nomia on the blue, the Rejects on the right. I'm just wondering if we are going to be running into that bug again, where the bans are on the switch sides. We'll just have to wait and see. But the Zaya ban for the Rejects, as far as I know, and Nomia looking at either the Tazita or the Ragnaros. Of the games that I have been recording, haven't really seen the Ragnaros at all in the drafts, but he does have a lot of strength. But the Tacita has been seen a lot more generally, and is overall having much more positive uh, performances, doing a lot of work in pretty much every game he's in. So it looks like they might look towards that one as the first ban, and it will be the Tacita ban. And let me just see, it is actually flipped bans. So the rejects did ban the Tacita Nomia, take away the Zaya, not wanting to have that for a first pick, and but they will take away the Ragnar. So the rejects umming and ahhing about whether or not to go with that Tacita or the Ragnaros. It looked like either way they were going to be giving up something really strong over to Nomia, and now we're on to the side of the rejects. We have to wait and see what they will pick up for their first two picks. Alrighty. So not too much has been given away just yet. There's always the potential for that Kerrigan to come in. Uh, for either side, as she has very strong play around the shrines and can really lock them down uh, quite easily on her own. But it is going to be the Zeratul and the Valor over to the side of the reject, so locking down their damage right away and making it already just from the DPS on the side of the rejects alone. It's they're trying to make it as hard as possible for the Ragnaros to get as much value out of him as they'll try, well, as much as they can possibly get out of him. But now onto the side of Nomia, let's see what they try and uh, build around this Ragnaros, or what they're going to supplement him with. Um, there's still quite a lot open. There's only the Zaya being taken down in terms of the warrior pool, and also for the support pool, only the Taz has been taken down. So they are going to take pretty much the best of each role, taking the ETC and the Malfurion. So a very solid trio already picked up on the side of Nomia as we are coming into the next round of bans. Alrighty, so I'm pretty sure this is the rejects bans, and it looks like they are going to be taking away yet another damage or another range or aid range damage dealer, just to take away any one of the tools for Nomia. Actually, looking at the Medivh, something we haven't really seen too much, but can work really well in very specific compositions. Can get a lot of work done, but it looks like it's just going to be the Kerrigan hover. So there's a lot of things that they've been hovering that seem to make sense when banning on Infernal Shrines. Just waiting to see what they do end up going with. It is going to be the Kerrigan, not wanting to allow the other side to have that really, really dominant shrine phase. So not allowing that through. Now we're just waiting for the other ban. I'm pretty sure the bans were flipped thanks to that bug. So I'm pretty sure that was the rejects taking away the Kerrigan, and Nomia taking away the Zaya. And as we shall soon see, I'm going to assume it's going to be actually, it could be the Brightwing ban or some other kind of global, maybe the Dahaka, just to try and limit the amount of global pressure that the rejects can pose. And if they do take away the Brightwing, it does limit even more the pool of supports for the rejects. There'd be things like the Rhaegar, the Kharazim, but it is going to be another warrior ban from Nomia taking away that Diablo. So not wanting to have to deal with the amount of crowd control and um, just annoyance in these team fights. So just getting rid of that, and now we're on to the second phase of picks. And it is here where we'll start to see the composition from the rejects really start to take shape. One thing we have seen a fair bit alongside Zeratul have been Jainers, as they do have a um, quite strong combination between the Void Prison and the Cone of Cold, not the Cone of Cold, the Ring of Frost. But I'm not sure if they want to run a single warrior, single support, and just 3 rather squishy DPS on their team. But we'll have to wait and see. They are going to pick up the Johanna for the front line, and it is going to be the Kharazim for them. So I'm not sure. There are quite a few ways where the rejects can go with their final pick. They can go for another support, they can go for another tank, or as I mentioned, they could actually go for that Jaina to finish out that combo with the Zeratul. But we'll just have to wait and see where they decide to go, especially after seeing the picks from Nomia. It's actually going to be the Leoric pick, something that we haven't really seen too much over the past months, but he seems to pop up here and there throughout the world, especially when it comes to big beefy frontline compositions. When we have that with the ETC and the Leoric, and the Li Ming was the last pick for Nomia, so they have that very significant long range threat. And they also have a very significant frontline that is going to take a fair bit for the rejects to actually get past. And now we're just waiting for this last pick. As I said, I'm not sure which way they're going to prefer to go. There's like several options. There's a secondary support, maybe like a Rhaegar or something like that. I'm not sure why you'd want to have Rhaegar Kharazim unless you wanted to go like damage monk and just really go heavy onto the damage. But it's actually going to be a third damage dealer. It's going to be the Tychus. I did talk about potentially going for the Jaina as a third DPS, but it doesn't seem like they want to go with that. Opting to go for the Tychus, he can have a lot of control around the shrines if he does go for the Draken Laser Drill, or even if he just goes for the Odin. Just imposes so much presence around an area that it could really dictate fights. So there's a lot of options to go with, and it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes, because on one side we have a rather tank light composition on the rejects where they have only the Johanna and just a bit of healing from the Kharazim, but meanwhile, on the other side, for Nomia, we have a lot of durability with the Leoric, with the ETC, and also the Ragnaros can actually be quite durable in fights just from the amount of sustain he gets from his Q builds. He can stick around in fights a fair bit, and with this Malfurion at his back, it's quite likely that he'll stick around in these fights for a fair bit if the members of Rejects aren't on top of it. Alrighty, so on the blue side we have Nomia, we have Vat94 on the Ragnaros, sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought there, Vanilla on the Malfurion, Arcana on the Leoric, John on the Li Ming, and Robodoba on the ETC. And on the red side we have the Rejects plus Hacky. We have Van on the Johanna, Hacky on the Vala, Tommy on the Zeratul, Moops on the Kharazim, and Moon Druid on the Tychus. In the previous game we actually saw Moon Druid on the ETC, so a bit of a flex for him. Interesting to see, as we are going to get into this level 1. Not sure if we'll see too much of a fight. We'll see Robodoba go quite far forward, try and get a little bit of, impose a bit of presence. They haven't gotten the, I say the brush first, but it's just a smoke band, but they do have the very forward position, but with the amount of long range, pretty much damage, just checking on the side of the rejects, they are able to safely move forward. Hacky playing very far forward and very risky, but does manage to survive it. Just going to clear this wave and move back to the other lanes, and it looks like they're just going to take a bit of damage, a lot of damage going down onto the Kharazim, who gets locked down by the by the Malfurion, but it doesn't actually finish him off, but it does give the priority in rotation over to Nomia. They are going to force the members of the Rejects to go the very safe way, which does take a fair bit because Rebadova was playing very aggressive with his positioning, and it looks like they're trying to get a bit of a pick off again in rotation, but they aren't able to. But they are just going to clear out this wave, and it looks like Tommy's trying to get something done, but they do spot him out. He takes a bit of damage, and the drain hope on the Leoric is going to do enough to hold him away, as Moondruid is going to get caught away. He does get the power slide down, but he's going to get locked down. That's going to be the first blood going over to the side of Nomia. A wonderful rotation. They managed to lure the Rejects into a false sense of security, because what they've been seeing was them moving between middle and bot, and now that they move to the top side, they are able to catch them off guard, as John takes a fair bit of damage from the Zeratul, who does manage to catch him without his supporting caster with him, but he will be able to get topped up by Vanilla just in time for this shrine to come up. Fat94 is getting aggressed upon by Tommy, but here comes the members of Nomia. They are going to be able to lock him down. A lovely route locks down 2, and they will take down the 2 members of the Rejects, and this is going to give them a lot of time on this shrine. They maybe even just be able to take it completely, as it looks like the members of the Rejects are just spreading out all over the map to try and pick up some experience and mitigate the amount of loss that they have from that disadvantageous play. It was a bit of an ambitious one to try and take out the Ragnaros on rotation, but with the members of Nomia really on top of their game and really communicating quite well, they were able to get a return onto that and get a nice kill, and it looks like they're just going to be able to get this Punisher for free. It is the first one, so it isn't the worst, and it looks like the Lurkers are going to take a lot of damage. Tommy going very aggressive, playing very far forward, and he is going to get aggressed upon by the EJC. They're going to keep on going onto him. He looks like he's trying to get away. It looks like he is going to blink away, but he's dropped it very low, and this is going to make it very hard for him to be too aggressive around the map. The members of Rejects do draw the Immortal over into their building, so it is mitigating the amount of damage they're taking, but they do lose that entire front wall. So pretty much that's what you expect to get from the first Punisher, and they're just going to be they're happy with that, as we are going to be getting a pause just as Tommy was about to get aggressive onto Fat94. But we will be getting back to this very soon, as we are just waiting to see what that pause was for. Not sure what it was for, but we are going to be getting back into the game right away, as we are seeing Tommy very far forward, as the members of Nomia come across to help out his members. Oh, they're doing a lot of damage down onto Moondruid. Does get locked down. They're trying to take him out just a little bit more, but he is able to get behind his walls and stay safe, and has to tap the well to keep himself sustained. But there's a lot of damage and a lot of priority giving over to Nomia on the map. They are rotating quite well between middle and bottom, and occasionally towards top, to just in a way to catch out members who maybe overextending to get some farm. But likewise, it looks like Arcana is playing very far forward as a bit of a bait, as Tommy's trying to go forward. Oh, Robodova goes very deep into the base of the Rejects, but he is able to stay alive. The Vanilla is keeping him topped up, but he's going to need to keep himself alive, especially with Tommy on the flanks trying to get something done. But yet again, a nice pick off in rotation, taking out the Valor. So there's another one going over to Nomia, but due to the amount of split soaking that the Rejects have been doing, they have mitigated the experience deficit that otherwise would have been quite damaging, especially with all these deaths that they've been getting, and with how much they've been getting caught out, and also the amount of buildings going down. Oh, John going very aggressive in return onto Tommy, who takes a lot of damage, doesn't actually get hit by the Arcane Orb. It looks like they're trying to keep on going. Vanilla trying to get the lockdown. John going very far forward, and here comes Fat, slaps him with the hammer, and they will be another kill, and it looks like they're just going to keep on pushing. These towers have no more ammo, so they are just going to be able to knock these down with ease. Moondruid doesn't get hit by the power slide, so that's a little bit lucky for him, and it looks like it's just going to be a nice push, and then moving up to the shrine, as it is just now becoming active, just in time, just in the perfect time for Nomia to just keep on pushing the tempo onto the Rejects, and it looks like they're just unable to keep up. They're trying to get up here to make a bit of a contest onto this shrine, but that is not in position, and it looks like John is going to pretty much play the point man, trying to get some a lot of nice arcane orb onto the front of the Squishy members of the Rejects as they are trying to take down this Malfurion, but they're not able to land all of it onto him as Vanilla ends up topping off this Ragnaros, and it looks like they're fine giving up the shrine for a bit. They'll just keep the wave pushing as they try and pretty much corner the members of the Rejects into the shrine as Fact takes a lot of damage. It looks like he's about to go down. All the healing was just not enough. He falls. The root does lock down too and take out Karazim. So there is their healing down. They do take down the Tychus, and the resets are coming for John. They almost get another one, but Hacky does manage to avoid it. Jan is going to try and get away, but he's just going to get harassed over and over by this Leoric, and this should give this, the space over to Nomia again to take this shrine. But with them spreading out like this, it might be a little bit hard for them to actually do. The Arcana is actually going to take out Jan, who is sticking around trying to get away from this Leoric, who's just being so obnoxious. That's going to be a nice kill going over to Nomia. It should give them more space. It looks like Hacky's playing quite far forward. Very surprised that Robo didn't try and make a play towards that Valor. With the rest of the members of the Rejects splitting all over the map, it would have been a pretty significant pick if they were able to get it. They are level 11 with level 10 just a little bit away for the members of the Rejects. The Disintegration being used quite liberally for John, just using it to push the wave just in time for this Arcane Punisher to be unleashed upon the world. It's going to be a very strong push for Nomia. There's no wall for it to be dragged over, and it's going to be hard for the members of the Rejects to actually defend this. They have the Valor damage and also the Tiger's damage, but it's just not in position, and it looks like they're just going to have to give up this fort, and it's just going to make this lead spread this lead even further as the Molten Core does get dropped just to keep the pressure on. It does go flying in. The Sulfurious Smash does land onto the Johanna, who's taking a lot of damage. The damage to lock her down, but Robodova is in the thick of it. Does get locked down by the Rain Avengers, but he is able to get out. They do take out the gate rather quickly, and they're just going to take that tower and just get out. They're trying to get onto Robodova on this ETC. He does manage to get away for now, but here comes the flank from Tommy. He does get the VP onto just the Malfurion. He's not able to get too much done otherwise. Fat does, the Twilight Dream does get interrupted. The mosh pit is getting absolutely nothing done, but it doesn't really matter. The rest of the members of the Rejects are just falling like flies. Tommy does get taken down, and absolutely no one on the side of Nomi has actually fallen. So in a fight that the Rejects desperately wanted, they were chasing, they had a really good flank. It just ended up not really working out for them. They had the good flank from the Zeratul, but the VP only managed to lock down the Malfurion, and they didn't actually get any kills while the Malfurion was incapacitated. And from there, it was just a matter of the members of Nomia just sticking around long enough to just grind out the Rejects, and they were able to take that fight. And even though that mosh pit was a bit of a whiff, I've got to say, but it didn't really matter in the end. The Twilight Dream did get interrupted the first time, but the second time it did land true. So a nice pickup for them, and they're going to be able to keep on pushing. Hacky taking a lot of damage. Sulfurious Smash does land, and that's going to be the Valor down. And they're just going to keep on pushing. Absolutely nothing that the Rejects can do. They're trying to play it reasonably safe, but also stick their necks out far enough just to get a little bit of experience for the team, but it's just not really working out. And now they're just going to keep on pushing onto this middle wave. The hard camp, the Shaman camp for the Rejects was taken, so that's going to be a point of pressure that they can maybe work with, but they just keep on losing all over the map. Tommy's trying to get a flank, but it was pinged out. They are very aware of his positioning thanks to Arcana on the Leoric, spotting him out in rotation. And this is just going to be maybe another shrine going over to Nomia. It doesn't look like the Rejects are really in position to make a defense, but as I say that, they are coming through the lane, so they are. Nomia is very aware of where the Rejects are, but it looks like they're trying to get. They are going in for the fight. They're down a talent here, down many levels. The VP does land onto 2, taking 2 out of the fight. The ETC is taking a wonderful mosh pit, locks down 3 members, and they do take down 2 already. The Sulfurious Smash locks down the Tychus. That's going to be another kill, and there's a wonderful fight going over to Nomia after it looked like a really good Void Prison from the Zeratul. The Mosh Pit just sealed the deal for the Rejects, and they just got absolutely demolished. And this is going to be another Punisher going over to Nomia, and they're just going to be able to keep on pushing. There's really not much that this Zeratul can do in defense. They're just going to keep on pushing, and even though the death times are still quite low, they're just going to at least take this forward out and really apply the map-wide pressure onto the Rejects. And there's not a hell of a lot that they can do at this point in the game. They're down so much. They're down 2 talents. They're not even level 13, and they're just going to keep on going. The Multicore has been dropped, and they're trying to get a really aggressive onto Moondroid, who has the stasis. He does manage to get out of that, but he's just dropped really low. They do manage to take out the Li Ming. The dive combo of the Zeratul and the Parasium do take him down. The Soft Fuse Smash locks down does a lot of damage to the members of the Rejects. They take down the Valor. It looks like the Punisher is doing a lot of work. They do manage to take out the Tychus. The Zeratul did drop as well. It looks like this is just going to be enough for them to just push onto the core. And the 4 members of the Nomia are still going very strong, and it looks like Yarn, the sole survivor on this Johanna, is not going to be able to get enough done. The minions are going to be here in time, but, well, here for the members of Nomia, but they don't really need it. Just being the solo defender is not going to be enough. They are using their ultimates rather liberally right now. It doesn't really matter. They are going to take the win, and that's yet another win for Nomia, who has, well, actually, as I say, that the VP does get used, but I don't think it's going to be enough. As it does finish, that is going to be the game. They finish off the core, and that is going to be yet another win for Nomia, who has just been absolutely dominating today.